XRP Future Millionaire. It's 2:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, January 6, 2022. This is a very important update here, only because XRP is seemingly rising. We've had a rise in the Dow up almost 700 points, and we're at a very critical level to me, because if we were going to drop the hammer, this looks like a right shoulder being built, unless we can break out back above, as I talked about before, and break this back up here and push this wider handle, that we could be finishing a cup up here, and that would be 35,155 approximately. Otherwise, we need to break up even more to start Monday. Otherwise, this could really be building some kind of right shoulder here that has come over. It's overextended here, I acknowledge. But if it were to get rejected here and so they drop it down, this could still be the end of a pattern. Now, it still does concern me that we could have made a wider push here, because one could say maybe that's a weird Gartley, that form, but I don't know. I really don't. It's going to be difficult for that to play out unless we can break through to new highs. But I'm not of the opinion that it can't come up to 35,104 if we had a significant push here to start Monday. But the one thing that I would be worried about here is this is a perfect area right now to fake a bunch of people out on Friday on some bullshit news from the bullshitter Buller. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, Jim Bullard, bullshit Bullard. They throw him out there every time they need a talking head for the Fed. He just tells you, oh, he was out there today. That's why the markets are moving. He put out a whole bunch of nonsense. But if you pay attention to the central banks, they're telling a whole different story. They're telling a whole different story. The money's drying up, folks, and eventually we're going to have a bank bailing, and that is not going to be good. So when Obama was president back in 2008 through whenever, those shit years, in 2011 he signed into law what was called a bank bailing, or 2010, 2011 area, sometime in there, which we bailed the banks out to keep them afloat, the government did. But now the next time, we the people have to bail the banks out. So make sure you're in a credit union. Even in the credit union, you might not be safe, but at least they're their own individual banks. But we'll be on the hook in a bank bailing. And if you don't know what that is, look up a bank bailing and it'll stagger you. So I have a very hard time keeping money in the bank, but you got to keep money in the bank in case you have to pay bills or in case you have to do whatever, because they want to see where your funds came from if you try to spend a whole bunch of money at once, which is, it is what it is in the USA. So anyhow, back to the urgent matters at hand. XRP's at 34.19, and the reason why I find it urgent to do this update is, yes, we've already covered this earlier. We talked about we didn't break this area, the 335, so now we would have to come back up here and see if we can re-break the 344. Exactly what we talked about earlier. Now the thing is, if we break 344, then we know we can break back up to which levels. You already know, because we talk about this every single day. If we break the 344, we know we could come back up here to the 355. That's a very big pivot level to me, because it's the top of this bear flag resistance, the downtrending resistance. And if you break this, then you can come back up. Yes, keep falling because it's not done yet. And this is why I think I'm the most valuable XRP influencer on YouTube, because I tell the truth. I understand the charts at every level, and I don't feed you the fun and bullshit. I just don't do it. We get into the charts. We don't talk about any of the other nonsense. I don't tell you it's bullish when clearly on a weekly time frame and a monthly time frame, especially the weekly, we're very bearish. We'll get into that in a second. But I'm not going to feed you the nonsense so that you'll view my channel. If you don't want to view my channel because you don't like me, fine, whatever. If you don't want to view my channel because I won't give you the bullish narrative every single day, that's too fucking bad, because I'm not going to give you the bullshit. I'm going to tell you what you need to know so that you're not down 77% in 2022. It's that simple. Okay? So that you're not down 77% in the last 16 months. So you're on my side. After making 425%, you can sit there 100% intact in one of the most brutal bear markets we've seen. And it's not even over yet. Bitcoin has a long ways to go before it hits its true bottom. Now, what I was talking about before is the 344. It's right in here. That shows you perfectly on this pattern as well. So you can see what we're fighting with. It's a bigger evil. Now, if we were to break through this and break the aforementioned 355, and then ultimately get up in here, you'd have to break in here, which ends up being about the 371 level. Now, the significance of the 371 level, I'm glad you asked. Oh, let me get to the other chart. And let me get to the proper time frame. I'm glad you asked. The significance of the 371 is, in fact, the broken symmetrical triangle that we broke down from. And that would be a nice retest up in here. Yes, you can say 368, but I've always stood with the 371 at that level. Right in here, back in here when it broke, and now back over here. This could be a confirmed double top, or, pay attention, we can get rejected before it ever comes up here, and we have the immediate 344. So all the other bullshit I talked about doesn't even matter unless we break and hold 34.4 cents. It's right here, clear as day. There's no reason for you to think twice, second guess yourselves, or think I'm full of shit, because I'm showing you it right here. We can talk about patterns and ciphers and fucking continuation patterns and whatever the hell you want to talk about, the MACD, the EMA lines, all of it. We can talk about the Ichimoku, all of it. It's all irrelevant right now unless you understand the levels. You can talk about every indicator and till you're fucking blue in the face. But if you don't understand the pattern you're in, you're never going to be able to understand the fucking indicators you're using. And lastly, if you're using an indicator and don't understand the pattern, you are going to lose 10 times out of 10 because the manipulators use the indicators to get the technical traders that don't understand the actual formations. And there's nothing wrong with just being a technical trader, but you damn well better understand what a bear flag is, a bearish continuation. Just because we might have a cross in a smaller time frame, you better understand the significance of a pattern in the weekly compared into the daily, compared into the hourly, or the minutes. You better understand the difference, because the weekly is always going to overtake the daily, and the daily is always going to overtake the 4 hourly, which is always going to overtake the 3 hourly, and it's always a repeating cycle. Eventually, what ends up happening is the 1 hour gets taken out. It'll start at the 30-minute, and all of a sudden it'll go the other way. When everything looks like in the daily it's been doing what it's supposed to, then all of a sudden the hourly will get taken out, and the 2 hourly, and the 3, and 4, and the daily, and now all of a sudden, when you get to that point, and yes, you guessed it, we're going to play the intro, because I need you to hit that motherfucking like button, show the same passion I do, share this motherfucking station, share it far and wide, because I want to get to 20,000 subscribers. That's my goal in 2023. I know it's only less than 5,000 subscribers, but that's my goal in a bear market. Get this station to 20,000 people and hold on for dear life for Tom's Army to hold 200 members. We're at 208 members, and damn it, it's a slippery slope, because if we break 200, it would be devastating. So please, if you haven't joined Tom's Army yet, I beg of you, join Tom's Army. If you were already in Tom's Army and you haven't resubscribed, or you forgot to, please, can we make a push today? Get back over 210, and let's keep this a free-flowing thing for the people, by the people. Hit that like button and share this as I hit the intro. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So as we were saying, join Tom's Army. Hopefully you hit that like button. You hit the motherfucking like button. And what we do is we bring the truth back to the XRP community here. I take away the fun, I show you the charts, and I tell you the news that's relevant so that you don't have to beat your head and bash your head through a wall. The worst thing you can do in a crypto bear market is bash your head through a brick wall. One, you're going to have a concussion, and two, you're going to not want to trade crypto no more because you're going to be beaten and battered. Don't beat and batter yourself on bullshit. Pay attention to what matters, like in the 30-minute time frame. I'm glad you asked, because yes, the volume matters. Correct. So every single day, somebody will tell you something about the volume. You'll see it even in my Telegram, that the volume doesn't really matter. Horseshit. Horseshit. How are you going to know whether or not a pattern, right? This is the number one rule to me of trading. Follow the volume. So if we're crashing and the volume, you know, not great volume, but it's you can find some burst. And now we have a reversal, and you have a pattern first resistance at 344. And you want to know if it's going to break out. 200 days here, correct. That's a very important on the exponential moving averages. I use it for the technical trader to know some people might have just sold out their short position. Right? That's what I'm saying. Right there is when you would have sold out a short. You could have said, oh, if it passes the 200-day, I'm out. When in fact, just above the 200-day is the proper first resistance at 344, that if it breaks that and holds, then yes, you would want to sell your short, because then you have the 348, and if it breaks that, it's a slippery slope to 355, and it's unavoidable. So you can just save all the pain, and when it breaks the 344 and holds it, then you can get the fuck out. But the 200-day here is irrelevant to your short position. It's just a small hot skip and a jump from 314 to 344. You're going to need some kind of clarity that it's not just a fake out and then a push back. That's how people get caught as a technical trader. They're only paying attention to the 200 on the 30-minute time frame in the short term. But they don't understand the pattern formation right above it. That's what I mean. So the market manipulators could use this area to scare people away, even though this should be the area that would scare the first set of shorts away. So anyhow, getting back to my point, we could have a bullish cross here as well. But until we break this pattern formation, the 344 is the most important level. Now, the other important fact, like I said with the volume, you notice we have a price increasing. What's the number one thing I've always taught you since day one? Price rising, volume decreasing is very bearish. You don't want to have a divergence of volume when you're having all of this price action moving up, but the price volume is moving down. That's very bearish. That tells you that this is a push up because there's a lack of sell volume here, not because there's a bunch of buy volume, which means you could have a bunch of people that understand as well, the major sellers, that are going to wait until we hit this point to maximize. That's the first step. Now, that's not the step where we have to pay attention to most if we break out of here. We've already shown before this the next levels. But it's very important for everybody watching me to understand what I'm showing you right now. And it's very important for you as I'm looking at you, even though I can only see out of one eye, this eye. This eye, I have keratoconus. I have it in both eyes, but it never progressed in my left eye. So the fact I'm even doing this is a miracle. But I need you to share this so that more people on YouTube, and yes, I'm blessed, believe me, for what I do. I think it's very hard pressed to believe within an 18 or 19 month period that you would have videos that, and I do them all the time, you know, and I get 1,000, 1,500, 1,800 views. Some get 600, 700 views. But to be able to get that amount of views and they have over 15,300 people to, and I tell the truth. I'm showing you the charts, I show you how I trade, and I don't fucking sugarcoat it. A lot of people get rubbed the wrong way and they go watch the run guys. That's fine. Some people need somebody to tickle their dick. It's just the way it is. I won't tickle your balls, and I also won't sell you some bullshit how to keep them fresh either. What I will tell you, and I've said it long, I will squeeze those sons of bitches so fucking tight and thrust you into the proper position. Why? I want you to be here when we get into the bull market. I don't want you to have no funds. The worst thing you can do is have no money when the bull market comes. No pun intended. Premature ejaculation leads to very poor results. But anyhow, pay attention to what I'm saying. First level 344. The volume is very bad. The volume is very bad. You know, I do like being more personal with everybody because then you can see I'm just a dumb fuck. This is my personality. I don't change. And whether you know me for a year, some of you have known me since March, the end of March 28th roughly of 2021, I started this venture. Most of you came involved, you know, during the great rise of XRP when I bought it at 42 cents in front, you know, and showed everybody why I was buying it on an average of 47 cents, and we kept it all the way until $1.66. Could have sold it at $1.98, but you know, the hopium. I show everybody it's very real. You just have to understand. So what we're looking for is some kind of divergence in this volume. So in the 30-minute, we had 279,000, 216, 319. So I mean, that was a little bit better. And now we have 25. So can we get another push in volume? Because right now it's not looking great and the volume's decreasing, but can we get a big candle here? Or are we going to ultimately get rejected? Because we're not going to stop until we get to at least 344. Don't hold your breath. It's very unlikely that it's just going to stop here at 342.5. Unless it was intended to be a 200-day hold and they wanted to quick rise it. But I'd be stunned. Like I said earlier, when it held this, we have to come back to 344 at minimum. And I'd be stunned if we don't. Because now you're just filling out the pattern, folks. You're filling out the pattern. And yes, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo in the pattern, and that's why I have other charts. So you can see the mumbo jumbo right in front of you. You know? You can start looking at all the mumbo jumbo. But I have to keep it within certain charts, and you see, hey, look how perfectly this works out, right? This aforementioned 348, which is the next level roughly until we get to 355, how convenient would it be that this chart shows exactly what that's looking at? And how convenient is it that that same level for rejection here that we're looking to face is the same as this pattern? It's just I have the different formations for you. This is inside of the formation because it's a more recent short-term pattern. And this one's a longer-term pattern. So we're on the bottom side of the formation. This is the way it goes. And then if you want to get even more detail, we go to the other pattern, which shows the 335 pivot level that we failed to break. And now we're ultimately, if you want to take away all the bullshit, we're first going between 335 and 355, then 371. That's it. That's all you need to know. XRP Future Millionaire. Hit the motherfucking like button. I want to see some passions in the comment. Some passion in the comments. And one person. All I ask is one person to join Tom's Army today. Find it within yourself to help push this army. Nobody else does it like me because nobody else is truthful like I am. Period.